Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk live on YouTube and StreamYard.com. It is Ghoul MF Michael Fletcher alongside Anthony Florio. We are away in the presence of Michael Bullock, but guys, here we go. This is it. Um, we got Smackdown, we have AEW Rampage, and then we'll be previewing Crown Jewel here tonight. So, really, not much for us to decipher here. So we're just gonna go right into the event. It was SmackDown. This was a previously recorded show, so this was not live tonight. Um, this was held. This was actually recorded last week. This was previously recorded from St. Louis, Missouri, at the Enterprise Center in St. Louis. This was taped. Basically, they did a double taping. So tonight was the results. However, myself, Anthony Florio, Michael Bullock, we did not look at the spoilers. So we are going at this basically spoiler free. We did not know what happened. We did not want to know what happened. We wanted it to be surprised, just like everybody else was going to be. Um, we got away from the spoilers, so here we go. So we started it off with the no disqualification match. Liv Morgan going one on one with Sonya Deville. And when it was all said and done, Liv Morgan wins the match in 13 minutes and 40 seconds. Wow. This was really good. And this was what it needed it to be. Uh Great battle, great wrestling match. Yes, it wasn't perfect, but for what Liv and Sonya did and got over 13 minutes worth of time, easily, easily, I'll give this 3.5 to 3 3/4 of a star. That was an amazing battle, an amazing match. The I loved that they used the weapons to give us that hardcore element, the no DQ element, because they definitely played it really well. By far, I thought this was the best performance by Liv Morgan. And I got to give a lot of credit where credit's due to Sonya Deville. I thought this was her personal best here tonight as well. So I really got nothing more to say. Anthony Florio, it is yours.
A hard-hitting match centering on Morgan's intensifying aggression. It saw the competitors exchange control of the bout, with Deville appearing to have the match won following a devastating powerbomb on the steel chairs. And the resilient Morgan fought through the pain, fought from underneath, and scored the win with Oblivion. Great match with some impressive weapon shots. It highlighted the star that Liv Morgan has become and proved that Sonya Deville is still a massively underutilized talent whose place in prominence should not be in question following her great run as a heel authority figure about a year or so ago. Deville rocked Morgan with a hard right hand to start the match. The former WWE official utilized the kendo stick to unload on Morgan, only for the former women's champion to return the favor. Morgan put herself and Deville through a table heading into the commercial break, smile on her face, and Deville delivered a powerbomb out of the corner, driving her opponent into a pile of steel chairs. Fantastic way to start. Second best fight of the night. 3.5 to 3 3/4. Hard to believe there's actually another match that's better than this, but then again, when we get to it, you'll know what it is. So 3.5, 3 3/4. MF set me up for the next match.
All right, it was LA Knight going one on one with half man, half amazing, the one and only Ricochet. And LA Knight wins the match in 12 minutes and 31 seconds. Anthony, it's yours.
Another 3.5-star match. Take two very good wrestlers, put them in the ring with each other, and a few minutes to work with, and the result equals a quality match. This felt more like the first chapter in a rivalry, more than just a match for the sake of having one, which bodes well for both men. It has been a long time since Ricochet has been involved in an actual program, while LA Knight working with someone of his caliber is a great way to introduce the charismatic heel to the SmackDown audience. More of this, please. And you noticed LA Knight insulted Samantha Irvin, the SmackDown ring announcer, at ringside, taking exception to her introduction of him in consecutive weeks. And Ricochet defended his real-life girlfriend, wiping the loudmouth heel out with a tope suicida. Knight smartly grabbed his opponent's foot, halting his momentum. And Ricochet, rocking pink and black gear, took the Bret Hart sternum first bump into the corner. Always painful to watch. And the babyface's standing shooting star press earned him only a 2 count. Another great matchup here. 3.5 stars. Easily third best fight of the night here. No question about it. Usually on tape shows, they're usually meh, but so far on this one, MF, we were batting 1,000, 2 for 2 on quality matches.
Dude, they were coming guns blazing. I think that's what it is. I think the one thing that we always talk about is that whenever they're pre-recorded shows or tape shows, that normally they're throwaways. And I think SmackDown or Triple H is like, you know what? No. Let's give these people something to talk about. Let's give them something to really sink their teeth into. So this was fine. This was amazing. Another 3.5 star bout, no doubt about it. And well, we move on. And the next thing that we had on the fight card here was Natalya versus Shayna Baszler. Shayna wins the match in 4 minutes and 11 seconds. Look, this by default was the worst fight of the night, but it wasn't anything bad. It was a 2-star match. It was more better because it showcased Shayna Baszler, but look at what she was doing with Ronda Rousey. It looks like Rousey is really getting in Shayna's ear, and she was talking to her about something, and the next thing you know, Shayna went off. She started going with knee strikes right to the face of Natalya. She actually busted her open. Like, she was a bloody mess. So that pretty much tells you, is Ronda Rousey bringing that evil, dark side of Shayna Baszler, the Baszler of NXT back? Because if that's what we're about to witness, that whole locker room in the women's division of SmackDown Live is in big trouble if this is what's about to happen. Anthony, not the best fight at all. It was more of a showcase for Baszler, but her and Rousey, if they start working together, and it looks like they are, this might turn into a combo that nobody might want to mess with on SmackDown Live. With these two together, oh boy.
Yeah. Too bad Marina Shafir is in AEW, and who knows what Jessamine Duke's doing nowadays. But
yeah,
you could have easily had the 4 horsewomen of MMA back together here. But this would have been a great time to do it. But, oh well. Shayna Baszler rediscovering the killer instinct that Ronda Rousey demanded of her a few weeks back, tore through the Queen of Hearts en route to a submission victory. This was a great introduction to the Baszler fans of the NXT, of the NXT brand, or a great reintroduction to the Baszler fans of the NXT brand, like Michael Bullock knew and loved. She stomped the arm of Natalya, manipulated her joints. You know how hard that is for me to watch, and choked her out, all while an approving Ronda Rousey watched from ringside. It was exactly what it needed to be, and Baszler will benefit exponentially after 2 years of mediocrity on the main roster, thanks to subpar booking. McMagma had to let that out. But Rousey giddily mocked the fans and egged her friend on as she destroyed a former mutual friend. Yeah, by default, it's the worst fight of the night, but it's not often we say a 2-star match is the worst fight of the night. But it was 2 stars, and Rousey and Baszler, about to get it. You put those two together. You heard of the Brothers of Destruction? How about the Sisters of Destruction?
Yeah, it looks like that could be very possible. Then we had a whole bunch of other vignette stuff and everything else, so we're not going to get into that. It leads us to the main event of the evening, which was Gunther putting the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship on the line against Rey Mysterio. And when it was all said and done, the winner of the bout and still the Intercontinental Champion, Gunther, 18 minutes 55 seconds was the time of the fall. Anthony Florio, it is all yours.
Easily the fight of the night. No question about. Well, I can't say easily because we had two other quality matches on this show tonight, which we already talked about. But this was the fight of the night here. There is no question about it. Wow. 4.5 stars. This was a fantastic match that further proved how superb an in-ring talent the champion is while reaffirming the greatness of Rey Mysterio. At the age of 47, yes, Rey Mysterio is 47 going on 48 years old. He is having better matches than wrestlers half his age and low-key entering his name in contention for GOAT status. These two had extraordinary in-ring chemistry, and a rematch or two would not be a bad thing. For now, Gunther continues his reign of dominance, begging the question, who will be strong enough to finally take the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship away from him? Mysterio delivered a springboard bulldog to take Gunther down and start his comeback attempt. Gunther launched his challenger from the top rope like a rag doll. Rey Mysterio delivered a code red for a great near fall, and the champion uncorked a shotgun dropkick and powerbomb, but could not keep his opponent down. Fantastic match. You know, Sheamus always talks about having banger after banger after banger. I think we need to start saying the same thing about Gunther, because he keeps having banger after banger after banger. And this was indeed a banger tonight. Great way to end it. The only downside was it was taped, but who the hell cares? It was damn good. And if you're pressed for time, this is definitely a match you got to go out of your way to see. This was absolutely fantastic. So 4.5 stars for me. Fight of the night. And you know, MF Gunther's reign of dominance continues. But give it up for Rey Mysterio. I mean, we talk about these legends, these wrestlers that we grew up with, you know, like in the 90s and early 2000s maybe, but like Monday Night War era, Attitude Era, what have you. Rey Mysterio certainly in that list. I mean, you talk about guys like Sting at 63 years old, what he's doing in AEW. Chris Jericho, who's well into his 50s and still doing things at an amazing level, whether you like him or not. And now Rey Mysterio, another veteran that despite his old age, he's still doing things like he's freaking 25 or 30. Insane.
Yeah. It's incredible what he's been doing. And the thing is, Gunther is only going to get better. He's so young and so polished, and he is easily becoming one of the best stars for SmackDown Live right now. He's one of the top heels. I know Roman Reigns is the guy and the heel, but you got to give it up for Gunther, man. He is definitely in that mix, and I love what he did. This was a 4.5 star match, no doubt about it. As far as overall review goes, wow. I gotta say at least 8.5 out of 10. I don't think there was anything bad about this show. And for it to be a tape show, I mean, this was like Monday Night Raw level stuff, man. It was an easy watch. There was nothing bad to say. I thought the whole show was absolutely flawless. I think this was, I can't believe it, a taped show, and this might be the SmackDown of the year. That's how crazy this is. This was a taped show, and this might have been the best SmackDown of 2022. I mean, honestly, Anthony, I give it to you.
Even though there were, you know, a couple of so-so things in between, but you know, a couple of segments here and there, but you know, the worst fight was definitely the only bad match on the show. Well, there were actually two bad matches. There was well, you can't really say Ronda and Natty was a bad match. It was just a showcase reintroduction for Shayna. The only real bad match we had was Braun Strowman going through those 5 Hammerniggers that MVP lined up for him. But other than that,
that was honestly, Anthony, I felt like that's kind of more of a segment because they didn't even put a time on it. So I kind of felt like that was more of a segment than an actual match.
Okay. All right, then. But yeah, I'm right around that same wheelhouse with you. Probably go around maybe looking at the pluses and the minuses here, I could probably give this like 8.5 to 9 because this what and for a taped show, I mean that's unbelievably high. Usually we don't see ratings like that for a taped show, but boy howdy, I knew Ray and Gunther was going to be good. I was not sure about the other matches though. I thought Knight and Ricochet was going to be solid at best, and same for Liv and Sonya, but boy, they proved us wrong on that, and they delivered above average matches, both of them. So 3 quality matches, couple qualities, one like maybe 1 or 2 quality segments and everything else. But man, great show. This is how you do a go home show, by the way. It was far better than what we saw on Monday Night on Raw. Even though because we had quite a bit of Halloween silliness in there. Ridiculous, but it is what it is. But 8.5 to 9, MF, take a bow. That was one of the best Smackdowns of the year, no question about that. Great show and a taped show. I mean, wow, color me surprised. But now we move on to a live AEW Rampage from a venue that MF and I hold very near and dear to our hearts. A venue that hosted, oh by the way, WrestleMania 4 and WrestleMania 5. MF, you know it and you love it.
Yeah, it is now Boardwalk Hall in Atlantic City, New Jersey. And we started it off with a title match, as it was Shibata representing New Japan Pro Wrestling going up against Orange Cassidy for the AEW All-Atlantic Championship. Orange Cassidy wins the match in 11 minutes and 8 seconds. Solid opener. Very good matchup. 3 stars for me. I thought they did a really good job showing the battle and how this played out. But at once it was all said and done, Orange Cassidy was going to win it. It was, like I said, it was a fun matchup. Shibata looked amazing in the ring. If anybody has not seen New Japan Pro Wrestling, Shibata is one of those stars that is a must-see. Every time he's in the ring, he's amazing. You get quality matches from him. You just saw it here tonight. Only the second time in the United States, but the first time he's actually wrestling in the U.S. So Shibata looked amazing. Orange Cassidy, great matchup, and is worthy of being the All-Atlantic champion. So, Anthony, it's yours.
What was that time again?
11:08.
11:08. I'm going to give it about 3.25, teetering on 3.5. I got to give it up for Shibata there. But I'll ask about him in a minute, MF, because I know you can easily drop JR 96-97 knowledge on this guy, because I don't know much about him, but I'll tell you what, from what I saw tonight, I was thoroughly impressed by this guy. Another veteran, 42 years old, and he looked great. Fun match that probably exceeded the expectations of some of Orange Cassidy's biggest critics, but it never quite hit that next level we know both men can reach. It was a solid performance that leaves plenty of room to be improved upon. And you notice we had a special guest on commentary, Iron Mike Tyson, and it seemed like he actually knew who Shibata was, which was kind of cool. The counter Shibata used to get out of a head scissor was beautifully executed. It's such a simple thing, but making it look as good as he did is not easy. Shibata making fun of Orange Cassidy's kicks was a fun moment, and the spinning head scissor takedown Cassidy used looked bad. He did not even come close to hooking his leg, so it was obvious that Shibata went down willingly. But great matchup to start things off here tonight. 3.25, teetering on 3.5. And MF, I know you know more about Shibata than I do. Even though I saw a little bit of that video package, this guy had a near life-threatening brain injury or some sort.
Yeah, it was because of one of his matches a couple of years ago. He landed on his head, and it was almost a spine and neck injury.
Yikes.
That almost derailed his entire career. Like his not only his career, but his life was It was bad. Like, it was a horrible, horrible injury. Many doctors thought his wrestling career was over. Like, many of them told Shibata, "You're never wrestling ever again." So just for him to be in that ring again,
a praise God moment.
That's a miracle upon miracle. You know, you talk about Edge, you talk about Soraya,
Brian Danielson,
but their injuries were bad. Shibata's was worse than all of them combined. Like, that's how bad it was.
Almost died.
Like, almost died. Yeah. I mean, it was because of one move that he was wrestling, and I think it was Yujiro Takahashi, or was it because of AJ, because of the Styles Clash? I think it was AJ Styles, and I think it was the Styles Clash. He landed on his head.
Oh, wow.
Off the Styles Clash. It was AJ. AJ Styles put Shibata out. I remember now. Yes. It was AJ Styles when he was a member of the Bullet Club.
Oh, wow.
And he damn near ended his career. Not only did he almost end his career, he ended Funaki's career because of that.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
I'm learning new things here tonight.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, that was crazy.
Oof.
So,
me and my church friends, this is what we would call a praise God moment. That's what it is.
Yes.
Praise the Lord, praise God, however you want to say it. I mean,
that is exactly what it is. Yes.
Man, major respect for Shibata, and I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't be mad if I saw more of him. I wouldn't, especially after what I saw tonight. I was thoroughly impressed with his body of work here tonight, and he gave Freshly Squeezed a little bit of some fits there, but Freshly Squeezed comes out on top, still the All Atlantic champion, and we'll see what's next for Freshly Squeezed. Maybe a title defense, possibly at Full Gear in a couple weeks. We'll see.
But, okay, Anthony. Anthony, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I actually got the full story now. So what happened? Okay, so what happened was that he suffered a brain injury 3 years ago. So this is about 2019, and it actually stems back from a match that he had with Okada. It was actually Kazuchika Okada at Genesis 2017. That's where he suffered the initial injury.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So it actually stems back from 2017 when he fought with Kazuchika Okada, the Rainmaker, in 2017, and that's where the original injury occurred. That's where the original injury occurred, and that's what resulted in the career-ending brain injury. That's what he suffered, and he was told never to wrestle again.
Again, I say, praise God moment. That's all there is to it. So, wow. Oh man, that's something. So with that being said, like I said, 3 1/4, 3 1/2. I could call this the fight of the night if I wanted to, because that's how good it was. And
yeah, no doubt.
Wow, very good match. 3 1/4, 3 1/2. So with that, MF, let's get on to our next tag team match, women's tag team action.
Yeah, it was Sky Blue and Madison Rayne going up against Jamie Hayter and Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. Jamie Hayter and Dr. Britt wins the match in 7 minutes and 19 seconds. So, Anthony, it's yours.
2 1/2, 2 3/4 of a star. Let me see. Madison Rayne and Dr. Britt Baker reignited their rivalry as soon as they were in the ring together. Remember, these two fought at All In more than 3 years ago. but they were both defeated by Tessa Blanchard, so there is unfinished business. Jamie Hayter was able to secure the win with a big lariat on Madison Rayne. This match had some fun spots and sequences, but there were also some moments that did not look so great. Some of it probably came down to a couple of these women not being familiar with each other. AEW needs to take advantage of the reactions when it can and turn Jamie Hayter into a babyface. I think the crowd wants it a lot. They want it very much rather. Hayter sells a crossbody better than anyone else in wrestling. She always catches her opponents and lands perfectly flat. If you have kept up with Sky Blue's career, you know she is one of the most improved wrestlers of 2022. She is so much more confident in her movements as she used to be, and that makes everything she does look better. The double super kick from Baker and Hayter is something they need to practice. They did not have the timing down at all. But I'll give it 2.5, maybe 2 3/4 for the effort. And no surprise that they gave Hayter the win here, MF. You want to give Jamie Hayter all the momentum that she can get. Because remember, in 2 weeks at Full Gear, Jamie Hayter, the biggest match of her young AEW career, when she challenges her former friend, with the story that they've had during the pandemic, Toni Storm, when they battle for the interim AEW Women's World Title in 2 weeks.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's going to be an incredible matchup, no doubt about it. About 2.5 stars, I'll give you that too. Leads us to the main event, the Gates of Agony going up against Wardlow. And it was Wardlow winning the match in 9 minutes and 7 seconds. It was a solid main event. I thought they did really good here. It wasn't overly spectacular, but I could say this was about maybe 2.5, close to 3. But it was a solid main event more than anything else. So, Anthony, it's yours.
Yeah, I'll give it about 3. I mean, it was a relatively standard tag team match. It followed a familiar formula and allowed both teams to look good at various times. And the show ended with Powerhouse Hobbs coming out and indicating he wants the TNT title shot. And for some reason, Prince Nana doesn't fit into AEW as well as he did in ROH. It's hard to explain why, but he just seems out of place. But yeah, Wardlow winning, no surprise. Solid 3 stars. And I don't know if it's been made official yet, but I think it will be. MF, I can easily see Wardlow, Powerhouse Hobbs, be a man fight for that TNT championship in 2 weeks at Full Gear. What says you?
Yeah, I agree. I think it will be. So I don't think there's really nothing more to add here. So overall review, it was all right. 7 out of 10. I thought some of the matches were okay. I don't think it was anything spectacular. But having Mike Tyson on commentary was pretty good. Some of the matches were pretty decent. Nothing major to write home about. But I thought they did an all right job with it. So Anthony, it's yours.
About 7. I think that's the correct rating for this. It wasn't a blowaway show, even though this was a rare live show from the arena formerly known as Trump Plaza in Atlantic City that housed WrestleManias 4 and 5, now known as the Boardwalk Hall in Atlantic City. But it definitely, I'll be honest with you, MF, when I seeing that arena definitely conjured up those memories as I was watching this show tonight, as I'm sure it did for you. So, but anyways, Cassidy and Shibata, fight of the night, easily. Main event, second best fight of the night. The women's tag by default was the worst fight of the night. Ricky Starks cut a solid promo, and he declared his entry into that AEW World Title Eliminator Tournament. And also, there was a backstage moment with Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara with Tony Schiavone. And Jericho said, "I'm willing to fight both Bryan Danielson and Claudio Castagnoli." And heck, Sammy Guevara has been added to the match. So here's another new match for Full Gear and one that's got banger potential here. Jericho, Danielson, Castagnoli, Guevara, fatal 4-way for the Ring of Honor World Title. That's going to be something. So 7 out of 10 for me. Go figure. A tape show was actually better than a live show tonight. Go figure. So not much more to say. MF, let's get into our preview of Crown Jewel.
All right, and we will indeed do that. As we said, it's going to be going down tomorrow afternoon, as it will be held at this is called the Misrule Park, which is in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, on the WWE Network. and on Peacock in the United States, and I do believe in some other parts of the world as well, as this will be this was originally called the King Saudi University Stadium, but they changed the name as part of this partnership with Saudi Arabia, a 10-year partnership in support of the Saudi 2030 vision. But we will have the show, and here we go, guys. So this is going to be a big event. Starting it off with the WWE Women's Tag Team titles on the line, as it is the newly crowned champions. Alexa Bliss and Asuka, they will be putting the titles on the line against the Damage Control, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky. Look, I'm just going to say this. I was shocked to see that they crowned new tag champions. I think we didn't think that Asuka and Alexa were going to win it. They did. But now you bring them back to Saudi Arabia. Deep down in my mind, I think the belts are going to flip again. I think they only did this in order to give Io and Dakota the belts back. I don't know why. I just feel like they're going to probably cheat. They're going to do some kind of thing. I don't think it's going to be a clean victory, but I do believe Damage Control will regain the belt. So for me, winners and brand new WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, Dakota Kai and Io Sky, I think they're going to get the belts back. So Florio, it's yours.
MF, I respectfully disagree with you. The women's tag titles still feel as though they're lacking any real consistent direction. On Io Sky and Dakota Kai, they felt like a tool that could help prop up Damage Control as a force, but the run was relatively short-lived, and the titles were flipped to Bliss and Asuka this past Monday night on Raw in what felt like something of a random Raw match. It's hard for me to see flipping them back less than a week later. What would the point of the title change have been if they do that? And I think it would also be a bit of a disservice. I mean, to take the titles off of them after, 5 days? It could happen, but I'm sorry, MF, I just don't see that happening. I respectfully disagree with you. Winners and still the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, Asuka and Alexa Bliss. So MF, set me up for the next match.
All right, with that said, we do set it up for the undisputed WWE Tag Team titles, as it will be the Usos versus the Brawling Brute, Ridge Holland and Butch. Anthony, it's yours.
The Brutes, along with leader Sheamus, have developed into a consistently entertaining group. That said, it's nearly impossible to see the Usos losing the undisputed titles in a match without much more build than this. And plus, after what we saw on Smackdown tonight during that segment, with the New Day and all that, I got a feeling Usos and New Day are on the horizon. So for that to happen, the Usos have to retain, and I think they're going to retain. It would be cool to see Ridge and Butch win the titles. It would, but I just think with the dominance of the bloodline, I don't think they're ready to end that yet. So winners and still undisputed tag team champions, the Usos and MF, after they get by these guys, the New Day clearly next on the horizon after what we saw tonight.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about it. Total agreement. I really got nothing more to add on that one. Yeah, I do believe the Usos are going to win as well. So here we go. Next up, we're going to... What? Oh,
no, go ahead.
I got the Usos as well. So next up, last woman standing on the Monday Night Raw side for the WWE Raw Women's title, the champion Bianca Belair versus the challenger Bayley. Man, this is tough. By now, we would have thought Bayley was going to win the belt, and yet Bianca rises to the occasion and successfully defends the title. Every chance she gets, we have not yet to seen a title change. I don't know if Bayley's going to win it, though. I don't know if this is going to be her moment. Maybe if she gets some interference by Dakota and Io, and that's maybe the way that they get the belts, she gets the title, but I just don't see it. I think Bianca's going to rise to the occasion one more time. I know some people am very high on her, but there's also people that's been waiting for that's been dying to see Bailey win the belt now. So I don't know. This is a now or never moment for me. If Bianca wins this title, I don't think Bailey never gets the title for a while. If Bailey wins it, all right, fine, great, she wins it, but that's almost lurking that someone else is probably gonna get Bailey. I don't know if Bailey's gonna have a substantial reign. So I don't know. I'm a little nervous here. I'm gonna go with Bianca Belair to win it all, but I don't know, Anthony. This one I'm kind of torn about.
I'm right there with you, but in any other match type, I would likely lean toward Bailey to end Belair's long run and freshen things up a bit. But having Bailey go over under last woman standing rules just doesn't feel right. And Belair managing to superwoman her way through another challenge is far more likely. Even though the trajectory of Damage Control is confusing, the group was primed to take over the women's division upon its debut at SummerSlam. Dakota Kai and Io Sky lost a women's tag team title match, the finals of that tournament, won them 2 weeks later, and then this past Monday on Raw, dropped the belts to Alexa Bliss and Asuka. The trio was also single-handedly thwarted by Belair last month at Extreme Rules, and WWE was probably wise to not replicate the Bloodline's title dominance with Damage Control. But their momentum has felt very start and stop. Salvaging the group probably means handing Bailey the title through nefarious means. But, out of all the matches on this card, this is definitely the toughest one to call. For right now, until I see otherwise, I have to go with Bianca Belair to successfully defend the title. But MF, if Bailey was to somehow win the title, do not be at all surprised.
It would have to be because of Damage Control. That's the only way that I could see as a legitimate argument for her to win the title. Just honestly. All right. Next up we had is Braun Strowman versus Omos. Florio, you know where I'm out to go with this. I hope Saudi Arabia reinforces the ring for these two behemoths, because it is going to be the irresistible force versus the immovable object.
Amen to that, Monsoon. You ain't just whistling Dixie on that one. But, yeah, I'm right there with you. Oh, man. Be a man fight. It's going to be a mass of nearly 800 pounds in that ring. And all I can say is whoever the referee is, may God have mercy on his or her soul. That's all I'm going to say. I know there's that sick part of UMF that's hoping it's Danilo and Fibio, but don't let it be him, please. Because you know how much Bullock and I love him. But all kidding aside, Omos is very much a work in progress, and that's fine. He should not pick up the win. Braun Strowman is a much more seasoned big man that you can reliably insert into a major feud. Strowman's departure last year was bizarre. WWE had put so much time into developing a monster of a human with surprising athleticism, only to drop him. Shredded and looking much better than ever. Crown Jewel should be Strowman's stepping stone, something bigger. So the winner of the match for me, the monster among men, Braun Strowman. So imagine if if he wins the match the way I think he does, and he does it, can you imagine what commentary and that crowd's going to do if he gets Omos up in that power slam? Ooh.
Oh my God! I mean, it would be pretty massive. It would be pretty big. So no doubt about it. I got Braun winning as well. So nothing more to say. All right, next up, well, talk about be a man fight. Let's do it. It's gonna be Drew McIntyre versus Karrion Kross inside the confines of a 15-foot high steel tempered cage. Gotta throw that because that's something Florio would like to talk about. But man, I don't know, man. Drew has not gotten over on Karrion yet, and that's troubling for me because Karrion Kross has gotten 2 wins already over Drew. When does Drew get his moment? That's the big question for me. I kind of hope that this is the moment where he gets at least a measure of revenge. I don't think he needs to win the whole battle, but he needs to win at least this. This round has to go to Drew. It has to, because if he doesn't win this, then it stunts his momentum. Then I'm get concerned about Drew, thinking, are they really like, what are they going to do with Drew after this? So for me, Drew has to win this match more than anything else. I got Drew McIntyre winning. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but Drew has to win this. Like, if there's ever been a time where there's a must need, or like a time where somebody deserves or must have to have a win here, this is it. Anthony, it's yours.
100% agree. Drew McIntyre cannot afford 3 consecutive pay-per-view losses. The Scotsman was one of WWE's few believable main eventers at the end of Vince McMahon's tenure, and it would be a shame to see him fall from grace after a strong showing 2 months ago at Clash at the Castle. Cross has been presented very well so far. His aura is certainly worth preserving, but Karrion Kross has no clear and immediate route to the undisputed Universal title. Give McIntyre a much-needed win in a competitive showing against Kross to set up the trilogy. And if he wins here, you know they're going to want to do a rubber match down the line. So I agree with you, MF. Winner of the match, Drew McIntyre, gets back on track after the most demoralizing loss of his career 2 months ago in Cardiff at Clash at the Castle, when we all thought he was going to win the title from Roman, but that didn't happen thanks to Solo Sikoa. And then losing that strap match to Kross last month at Extreme Rules in the Yellow Elves. So something's got to give, and I'm right there with you, MF. It's got to be Drew McIntyre, because he cannot afford 3 consecutive pay-per-view losses.
No, he can't. And I totally agree with that, too. He must win this match. He must win this. All right, next up we have is, well, it's just a straight-up grudge fight. Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley, 1-on-1. Anthony, it's yours.
The Raw main event right here. This is your main event from Monday Night Raw, and this is the big feud. This is the big feud on the Red brand, and for the last almost month or so, this all pretty much started. You remember Columbus Day night, the season premiere of Monday Night Raw at the Barclays in Brooklyn. It was Brock Lesnar who literally cost Bobby Lashley the United States Heavyweight Championship, opening the door for Seth frickin' Rollins to steal the title. But there's more to this. Let's not forget, Brock Lesnar lost the WWE Championship to Bobby Lashley earlier this year, back in January at the Royal Rumble at the Dome in America's Center in St. Louis. And that was the first time the two men had ever met in a one-on-one match. WWE likely would like to be able to return to this match again sometime maybe in 2023, and letting Lesnar get the win back is the most direct way to accomplish that. It's also hard to imagine Lesnar losing 3 straight matches. You have to go all the way back to 2003 to find the last time that happened. So the winner of the match for me, I got to go with the Beast Incarnate. I got to go with Brock Lesnar. So there isn't much more to say here. MF, I think Brock Lesnar gets the win back after Lashley stole the WWE Championship from him at the Royal Rumble, thanks in large part to Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman.
Agreed. I'll give it to Brock. I'll give it to Brock here. I think Brock will win the match, no doubt about it. He'll get a measure of revenge there. Really nothing more to add. Next up we have is the OC. AJ Styles, Luke Gallows, and Carl Anderson versus the Judgment Day. Finn Balor, Damian Priest, and Dominic Mysterio. Of course, Rhea Ripley in the corner. I'm going to go Judgment Day. I believe because of Rhea. Until AJ and the boys brings that neutralizer to take Rhea out, with Rhea being out there, she's the ultimate wild card. And I honestly believe that Rhea will be the wild card in this and will be the reason why Judgment Day wins this match. So I got Judgment Day winning because I believe that the story can continue with the OC. Hopefully they reveal who that new member is or that fourth person to neutralize Rhea. But until then, like I said, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna say that I'm gonna go with Judgment Day to win. So nothing more to say. Florio, it's yours.
I actually came across a dirt sheet recently about who that fourth person could be. I heard about who it could be, but I don't want to give too much away. I'll put it in our chat box, and you can let me know what you think in there. So, but anyways, yeah. The Judgment Day earned much needed momentum against Edge at Extreme Rules, and you would like to see them build off it further. But unfortunately, MF, I gotta respectfully disagree with you once again. It may not be worth having the OC lose. AJ Styles is the most successful of all 6 competitors in this match. Carl Anderson and Doc Gallows recently returned to WWE after being woefully underutilized in their last stint. The 3 have cohesion and a long-time friendship, so there shouldn't be much disjointedness in their chemistry. Expect the OC to emerge victorious to capitalize on the Good Brothers' recent returns. So I'm going to say the OC wins it. Respectfully disagree with MF. And looking up and down the card, I think we talked about everything else. MF, is it time?
It's time. It's the main event. It is for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship, as it will be Logan Paul. Yes, Logan Paul stepping in the ring and is going to be challenging the Tribal Chief, the head of the table, the undisputed Universal Champion, Roman Reigns. Anthony, you get the honors to cover the main event.
This is such an odd match. It seemed WWE would build Logan Paul up through more special matches before throwing him into any sort of title bout. While he has been truly outstanding in his 2 matches, where first he teamed up with The Miz to defeat Rey and Dominic Mysterio in April at WrestleMania 38, and then, of course, his victory over The Miz at SummerSlam. There's basically no way Logan Paul walks away as undisputed champion. That said, there's a small chance he could maybe win by disqualification to remain undefeated while not taking the title off of Roman Reigns. But it makes more sense that Roman just takes the win here, while Logan Paul looks good enough that there's no damage done to him as a rising star. So I say the win, and this is the lock of the pay-per-view right here. Winner and still the undisputed WWE Universal Champion, the Tribal Chief, the head of the table, Roman Reigns. But MF, God forbid, if WWE actually has the you-know-whats to pull the trigger on what would be, without a doubt, the single biggest upset in the history of professional wrestling.
Yeah, I mean, there has been some people that have been saying that they should do it. Because think about that. Think about what the story would be like coming out of Saudi Arabia, that Logan Paul becomes the champion. I mean, yes, we know about the David Arquette and the WCW, and I know a lot of people would
be bigger than that. It would be far bigger than that.
But this would be even bigger. Could they do it? Absolutely. Should they do it? Some say yes. Majority says no. A lot say no. But there are a few people outside. There are a few that says, let him get a moment. Let him be the champion. But then have Roman come back and get the belt back. And then we move on. So I don't know. I'm really torn about this because this could go a number of ways. But I do believe Roman Reigns will successfully defend the title, and I do believe he will still be the undisputed WWE Universal Champion when this is all said and done. So I'm with you. I got Roman winning as well. So there's really nothing more to add, guys. So that's it. We're done for tonight. We will be back tomorrow for the NFL Saturday, and then we'll be back here on Sunday night at 10 p.m. for the recap of the Crown Jewel event. So for all of us here, for Anthony Florio, I am Michael Fletcher. Have a good night, everybody, and we will see you all tomorrow night for NFL Saturday on the Tone 25 on YouTube and StreamYard.com.
Goodbye.